and that our planet's been using the color green to do mind control. And so we had all of the computers spinning, and they were finding every connection of green and how it affects people. And that's why the money's green. That's why, I mean, in all of our research, we found out that, like, no, this is all crazy. Like, I'm not saying that we would really find this stuff out, but like, you know, green is a heavy Irish component, and that Chinese aliens were leprechauns, and they would actually distribute gold to, this is like before the Irish became the Irish, you know. So this kind of came up in that, through legend, and it turned out to be they turned it into leprechauns and other stuff. But we're like digging deep, and we're finding all these really weird connections where all of the green mind control stuff was set up before we even got here, basically. And by whatever, it had to be an alien race of some kind set this whole system up so that we could, originally we were put on here to serve them, to like do the mining of the planet for them, for their resources. And then we developed into what we are now.
Kind of like Stargate, basically.
I don't know anything about Stargate, but I should check it out.
The whole basis is that the ancient Egyptian gods were really aliens, that like the pyramids were like their landing spots, but the human race was here as miners, basically, for them, and to create resources, and then they slave revolt, and then the aliens got kicked out, and so that's where humans came from. But they find like an ancient Egyptian way to go to another planet, like one of the ways that they traveled, where there's really, I mean, there's a TV show, so there's tons of stuff, but the original movie was they go find an ancient Egyptian-like culture, but it's still enslaved by the aliens, and they have to like figure out what's going on. So same basic idea. I think you might like it.
Stargate. I'll have to check it out. I know someone who has the whole series. The Reiki people have the whole everything.
Oh, really? I know the series was very popular. I never really watched it.
Oh, so it's not the series you're talking about. You're talking about the movie.
Well, this movie, or the movie came first, and then the series picked up after. So it's the same backstory, basically. I obviously the series is like 10 years going or something, so I'm sure they filled in a lot more of the details, but I only saw the movie, so that's the backstory.
So they're basically in the movie. So that's it. It'd be easier for me to watch the movie than it would be to.
I think you would get a pretty clear idea of the
Interesting.
thing from the movie.
But anyway, so like all this stuff was happening inside our lab in the dream, and it was so cool. And it was too bad I had to wake up. It was just too bad because it was so much fun.
It's cool, Jerry.
Yeah, but what are we gonna do with all this? That's the thing, you know. It's like you get all of this information, this data, you can't use it. I mean, we can't. You know, if we said any of the stuff that we found, everybody say we're full of shit. They say we're full of shit. They say I'm full of shit when I say planes didn't make those buildings fall down like that. That's all you have to say. Oh, you are so full of shit, masters. You know, our government would not. I'm not saying our government. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying buildings don't do that shit. Steel buildings don't do that. Never in history has it ever happened. That day it happened 3 times. 3 times? Don't talk to me. You're crazy, masters. Yes, I'm crazy. It only happened twice. All right, okay, whatever. No plane hit building 7 and it went straight fucking down just like the other two.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
Just saying. All the steel that they took away on those trucks, they didn't have to cut it. It was already cut into 40-foot lengths. Weird fucking plane crash. So I gotta say.
Well, the problem with stuff like that is most people would rather not know.
Yeah.
No matter how obvious it is for anything, because as long as I get as long as I get whatever entertainment and the food that I want, like you take care of it. Everything else is outside of my purview. I just want to shut up, go to work, and get the stuff that I want.
And that sounds like a beautiful life. When you know all this stuff, that sounds beautiful. Wouldn't it be great just to be ignorant, stupid, and just be happy because you got a nice cable package and a house with a refrigerator just for beer.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you just be happy?
No, as long as it can last.
Yeah.
I mean, the boomer generation basically had that for most of their time. So, but the thing is, stuff like that generally doesn't last because the people controlling it want to take little chunks out of that until you're living like in Soviet Russia, you know?
Yeah. Crazy. Okay, so we can't fix all the world's problems all in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the idea that we can play an active role in figuring this stuff out through our own laboratories and our own research and stuff like that. I think that's great. What we can do with it, I don't know. Maybe we do have St. Paul's free speech. We should get that .com. I mean, so we could publish things. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to put my name on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll support whoever, but I don't want to be known as that conspiracy guy. I don't really want to be known as the chocolate weight loss diet guy. I don't want to be known as the conspiracy guy. I don't want to be known as the. I was making the movie about the 911 conspiracy thing. I don't want to be known as that. 'Cause that's not the thing I want.
What do you want to be known as?
I want to be known as like the cheerleader for people who don't believe the cover story, whatever that is. You know, I'd like to just.
So, conspiracy theory organizer?
Maybe.
I'm not good. Answer that real quick.
Okay.
And back.
Okay, so a flight from here to. How long would it take for a flight to get from Portland to Orlando? How long is the flight is that?
Well, I think LA to New York is like 3 or 4 hours, right? Depending on the wind. So probably roughly the same.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell Kim that.
Do you want to know for sure? How important is it?
I don't know. I'm just gonna tell her. You know,
Why?
What do we have to do? I'm gonna ask her. What do we have to do?
What did you say, Portland to Orlando?
Yeah.
Do you prefer flying out of Portland versus Seattle?
Yeah, it's quicker to get to the airport.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I guess because you're down here, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, for Olympia, probably.
I don't know. It depends on the traffic, actually.
Well,
it's like an hour and a half.
And that's the thing, the traffic actually at the airport is a lot worse in Seattle than it is in Portland. You get into the airport pretty quick.
Yeah, the Portland is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
The setup they have there, because it's pretty far out of town.
Yeah.
Wow, it's actually pretty cheap. Wow, it's 5.5 hours actually.
Mm-hmm.
Slower than I expected. It's only $170 non-stop,
Wow.
one way. But you can get, with 2 stops, it's $80.
Shit.
Yeah, no fucking shit. That's some of the cheapest stuff I've ever seen, yeah.
Oh my god!
I mean, that's leaving today.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I don't know, what if we did it? Oh, it's actually cheaper if you leave Tuesday.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, like,
How can it be cheaper than $80?
$70.
Oh my god.
I mean, if you want to leave a prime like Thursday or Friday, it's 170, 115. But I mean, that's still pretty dang cheap.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've never heard of flights so cheap. And that's clear across the freaking continent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from one edge to the other. You can't get any further away than that and stay inside the United States. Oh my god.
Well, I think certain parts of Alaska are farther away, but it's very close.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from Seattle to Anchorage, it's like a 3.5 hour flight.
Uh-huh.
But then the Anchorage isn't even near the edge of Alaska. It's like in the center.
Yeah.
So you could go, if you went out to Aleutians, you could go pretty far still.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the longest flight you would want to do normally.
Wow, that's crazy.
Unless you want to go in the middle of nowhere. We should do a St. Paul's Alaskan hunting trip.
I don't do hunting trips.
Well, just walking around in the tundra trip.
I can do that.
Fishing.
Fishing. I've done fishing before.
That's pretty impressive. Well, things are going back towards restriction, it looks like. Like Thurston County just recently went back to everybody has to wear a mask inside all the time. Where it was only unvaccinated people didn't need to, and they recommended unvaccinated people do it. But so I think we're going to get towards like it was before.
I don't really care about that. It's just, I don't think that, I mean, I don't care about wearing a mask.
Well, I'm thinking that's just the canary in the coal mine to,
Yeah,
shut down your businesses.
that's the thing. That's the thing that pisses me off, is that it's shutting everything down.
Mhm.
I'll wear a mask, I don't care, but, I mean, China had a good way of controlling people, They said you stay in your house, if you come out you have a mask on, and you better have a destination to be to, and get right back, or else we'll shoot you.
Yeah. We don't know for sure that worked though.
Really? I thought, well, they were in the clear a lot sooner than we were.
Yeah, but those numbers are all made up.
Oh.
They're not real.
Oh.
Well, it's pretty easy to tell that they're not, because if you plot this stuff, like early on I was following it pretty closely, if you plot this stuff on a logarithmic scale, because anything like this with a Gaussian distribution is going to be exponentially decreasing or increasing. So when you plot it on a logarithmic scale, you see straight lines, and when something changes, the line like bends, but it's basically straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I plot it, you see that in the United States, you see that everywhere. I tried a bunch of different places, which is what you expect. Tried it in China, just totally fucked, like not even real numbers.
Can't even.
And I was looking, like there were times when people in a certain, like the provincial governor would tweet numbers on their version of tweeting. It's called Weibo, but it's basically the same thing. And then like the national numbers would be like half of what he tweeted, and then he would go back and change it later. Be like, oh, never mind. We actually have 4 people die instead of 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, they make up all kinds of numbers like that. The numbers we're getting from them are very obviously faked. So we don't know what the real statistics are.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some. This was fairly early on too, but according to where it started, right? They have 7 or 8 crematoriums in that city.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a day when people could come and get the remains of their relatives who died from COVID after like their first few months.
Mm-hmm.
And according to them, only a few thousand people died in that province. But there was truckloads and truckloads of these remains in just one crematorium alone that exceeded that number. And it's like, okay, well, there's no way.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. You cannot trust a single thing that comes out of China. They manipulate all the numbers.
Okay.
Like there's another example, there was a port in China that's supposedly the second busiest export destination in the world. And the top 5, if you go to any of them, like in Europe or United States, it's literally 24 hours a day, ships coming in, ships coming out, being loaded, like, because the space is so precious because it's so busy that any time of day or night, if there's a spot, somebody will get in there and start loading it or unloading. And then the one in China, you're usually not supposed to go see as a foreigner, but I knew of some people that would travel around China and they go to places where they weren't really supposed to, and be like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to not be here.
Yeah.
And so they took a picture of the port, it's like dead, nothing there. It's like, there's no way that that's the second busiest port in the world, but according to the numbers they provide, it is.
Wow. Yeah.
Or like there's the cities in China where there's like 6-lane highways, multiple story towers, and like enough room for 100, not 100, but maybe 10 million people, and not a single person lives there. They built these cities to improve their building numbers, and it's dead. Like no single soul. Like, we don't know how many there are, but there's at least tens, if not hundreds of them, dotted around the Chinese countryside.
What?
They call it ghost cities. You can check it out on YouTube. People go find them, and again, if they knew that they had that video, that those people would have been detained, but they're ballsy, and so when they got the video got out.
Wow.
And Chinese people are not allowed to use Western social media. Like, you're not allowed to be on YouTube. You're not allowed to post stuff on
I
Twitter.
don't even think you can access that stuff, right? Because you have to go through their servers. So.
Yeah, they have the Great Firewall. There are ways around it,
Mm-hmm.
but most people won't. Posting is obviously going to get you screwed over.
Yeah.
There are a few channels, but they're pretty obviously state-run propaganda outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the state-run media is allowed to because, they want to export their ideas if they're okay. But normal people can't do it.
Yeah.
And so they'll get on it to like get information from the outer world, but you don't see much posting from. Most of the stuff I've seen that's this kind of hidden away stuff is Westerners that live there that are kind of getting it out because they have a little more leeway. Because you can't like disappear an Australian citizen or American citizen as easy as you can a Chinese citizen because nobody cares in China. But anyway, yeah. So a lot of people are like, we need to do what China did to control the virus. We don't know because maybe it didn't work.
Yeah, very good possibility. And they do talk about they got different stuff going on up there too, so they're going to be locking down again.
Mm-hmm.
So this lockdown stuff, this can't. It just doesn't make any sense to me because it's so destructive to our society.
Mm-hmm.
Has this happened before? You would know.
I've never heard of a time where it was locked down this much in modern, and like since the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
There were probably areas in the Middle Ages during the Black Plague where it was this shut down, but I mean, back then most people were growing their own food, so it's a whole different situation.
Mm-hmm. But there was not like something in the United States, some kind of an epidemic that created this much dysfunction.
The biggest one we had was the Spanish flu after World War I, or around the time of World War I.
So what happened then? Nothing much? Really?
There were some, but they didn't have national mandates for closing.
Yeah.
I saw some reports where like different military bases tried different things. The U.S. military so they tried like complete lockdowns and they tried other stuff. And the person reviewing all the data concluded that trying to lock down a military base was ineffective because they couldn't get everybody to do it. Nobody would follow the directions enough to make it work.
Yeah.
Which was a military base, so you can imagine what normal population would be like
Back then.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're pretty compliant.
Military base?
No, I mean these people.
Pretty, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the something like that is you'd have to be 100%. The thing is, it's not even clear that you can 100% lock down a population and have it not blow everything up, because they keep saying, oh well, if you're an essential worker, well, it's possible that there's enough contact, even if everybody followed the directions like they said, that the essential workers would still spread the disease enough to where it wouldn't prevent anything. To me, the only time that a quarantine is 100% would be worth it is if you know for sure it's contained in a tiny area and you have a very good chance of enforcing it nearly at 100%, and it could prevent it from spreading. So if China had realized it was this big of a deal, which I think they probably had inklings, but who knows how far up the chain it went. If they had locked down their area right away and it didn't get out, that might have worked. But once it hit internationally, there's just no way that you're going to get all the countries in the world locked down enough that it would ever be effective at all. I mean, according to them, the original rationale for this was, well, we need to slow down transmission so that the hospitals don't overload, because more people would die without access to medical care.
Yeah.
So I guess they could push it forever, but like sometimes you just got to take the hit, you know.
Can't believe we're basically going to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a new variant, right?
Yeah.
It's looking like the vaccinated people, according to the scientists, are like 50 to 60% immune from the variant. But if they get it though, the vaccination didn't do anything to help prevent them spreading it or anything else. So it's not. And the thing is, one of the bad things about slowing it down this much is that it's actually giving the virus more time to mutate and to try different things. If it had been allowed to go crazy, maybe there would have been more difficulty in the hospital front, but it would have spread very quickly, and then people that are going to survive would have survived. They have immunity, and the people that weren't going to survive, are gone, and they're not breeding new viruses.
Right. Yeah. But now we're keeping them well enough so that they are developing new strains.
And we're allowed, by vaccinating people, we're giving the more powerful viruses a fertile ground to spread itself.
Yeah.
Instead, before they would have been competing against, like if people got the less virulent alpha or whatever variants, they would still get immunity. Like people who got ones apparently still have immunity against the other variants. So it would have been better if people got the less violent one early and got immunity than drag it out, and now they get the worst one. The problem is we don't really 100% know on all this stuff what the best answer is, but everybody is working from fear, and so usually the fear-based response is the worst one.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were in charge, I would have done it to where people that are, elderly, have really bad immune systems or something, they quarantine themselves inside, right? They don't contact anybody else. And because they need to protect themselves, and then everybody else that's more healthy should continue doing what you normally do, and then go from there. Because that probably would have decreased it enough to where the hospitals would have been fine. And then the healthy people can spread it among themselves, at whatever natural rate. And if you want to take precautions, you can take precautions. And then the normal stuff would keep going. You'd be spreading immunity. You'd still have the economy going, because most of the people that are healthy are the ones that are working, mostly. Like obviously, the death rate is much, much higher in the elderly than it is normal people,
Right.
or not normal, but
younger
people, and then children seem to have a very good survivability if they even catch the thing. So they should, you should have left things as normal as possible and just protect the people that need it. But instead, we're working from a mindset where we need everybody else to protect me, which is not really that effective.
But that's exactly what they think. That's what my brother thinks. My brother's like, if you don't have the vaccination, you're trying to kill me.
You, the vaccinated person. Yeah, it's immune from it, theoretically. Yeah.
It's like, really? What kind of a fucked up point of view is that? But someone put that in there.
That's the way they're going.
Delivered that message, and he took it in, and him and his wife are both on the same page. If you don't have the vaccine, you're killing people. You're killing me. You're killing my family. You're killing my neighbors, the people we love. Really?
Well, that part's scary because there's actually really interesting research that looks at people who have different like not necessarily political, but general perception versus progressiveness versus conservativeness. Conservative, like you like the old way of doing things. You don't like different ethnic groups in your own. You like to stay in the town that you grew up in. You like to do, things the way that they've always been done, kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And the more conservative an area, it usually means that they've had historical, not access, but they've been historically susceptible to parasites or communicable diseases, right? So basically, there's a link psychologically and evolutionarily to public health crises and extreme authoritarianism. And if you look at how the Nazis started their whole concentration camp program, it was actually a mental health program. And they started out by cleaning up the insane asylums and people with diseases and all that stuff. So that is the way, if you wanted to start an authoritarian regime, it's usually started, and it has a lot of language around public health, like safety and public health, purity and all that stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's how it works. And they've even done research where they show people, like they take people and they ask them questions that, illuminate how conservative or progressive in their general mindset they are. And then they show them pictures of signs of communicable diseases like skin conditions, actual stuff. And then they ask them again after, and after immediately they're way more in the conservative side of that, which is, I don't like the word that they use, conservative. I mean, it makes sense, but it's basically more towards authoritative totalitarianism is kind of the way that leans. So, if you wanted to institute a totalitarian system, you would use public health crises to do that.
I know that, like when I was young, this is maybe not a good correlation, but when I was young, I got access to these, what I thought was pornographic material early on. And it did have, like you could see like women's breasts and their butts and lingerie and stuff like that. But it also had these articles that would, when it showed pictures of genitalia, it was severely diseased. And it had all this stuff on it, just like gross, and stories about and it kept me a virgin until I got married. It really wasn't God or whatever that kept me a virgin until I got married. It was those stories. I wasn't going to let anybody touch my dick, to make it look like some of these I saw horrible pictures when I was a kid, young, maybe 6 or 7, and it just stayed with me my whole life. I still see those images. It's horrible.
That's funny.
Yeah, crazy.
Very effective.
Yeah, very effective. I mean, if that was the goal, I don't know what the goal was, but I'm sure it wasn't to keep people from having sex. But that's the effect it had on me as a warped little kid. I was just barely talking at that age. I wasn't even talking really. I was like reciting Bill Cosby. That was my vocal ability. But that warped me somehow. Weird. So, let's see. So back to our people. Let's see, Kim. Nothing, I guess, we can do.
So did she get back to you anything about what she plans on doing? Or
hey, if you're free, check out tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST Online. They're talking about new products our company is including an amazing water system that gets rid of all the toxins.
Oh yeah, I think that's exactly what she sent me.
Yeah, it's crazy cheap and eliminates the need for bottled water. It's already paid for itself in 2 weeks. For us, I will be the 4th speaker tomorrow. I come on at 3. Wish I could have seen that. But there you go. And then
you probably can. They have like a on-demand thing, and I didn't see that one, but it's probable that it'll show up later because there was a bunch of other ones with her in it.
I don't really care about it. I just want to be able to say, look, we've given you weeks to do this. and you just did this for them. What do you need? Money? Do I need to come down there? Myself, it takes me 5.5 hours to get there. And I have to tell her it only costs $80. I can't believe they just drove from there to Las Vegas and back for one of these meetings. If they knew they could fly for $80, then why would you drive? Yeah, you really.
Well, I mean,
people are probably thinking. I wouldn't have ever thought to check for a price for that flight. I would just have assumed in my mind it was still a $500 flight. But apparently, it's not.
I thought that the prices were high right now, but apparently not to there. Portland to Orlando.
Crap! Yeah, that's nothing. It's free.
It's definitely cheaper than driving.
Yeah, you can't even park your car for that.
It'd be a round trip, and there are more expenses if don't have your own vehicle, because you'd have to get around and stuff. But it's still it must be cheaper, especially because they drove their camper, right, or something.
Yeah.
Of course, some people will pay almost anything just to have their own camper there, because it's like a home to them, and they don't want to have to do the hotel thing or whatever. But there's still a lot of extra driving. Yeah, I don't know what's up with these guys. It's weird that it's so difficult for them. I'm totally fine if they didn't want to do the event, but they said they wanted to do it, and then
and they're on the advertisement. That's we could change it, obviously, but that's a commitment. What are you gonna tell Oprah? You can't figure out how to get the food. Not really. Obviously, she can make it to this thing. This other thing she's a speaker on. This might be the stuff. I can see her being excited about it if this is the stuff that brought her site back. I get it, why she's passionate about it. I don't know if it's the stuff, but if it is.
Well, she seems kind of passionate about things in general. Remember when she brought up the light bulb thing? I forget exactly what it was, but there was early on when we were doing live ones, there was a couple times where she really wanted to tell people about this light bulb thing. They have a product that's a light bulb and it does this. And that was the one thing that lit her up, was that light bulb thing. So she seems to be really into cute products. She could use this system to teach, or not teach that, but sell that if she wanted. This would be a great way to do that.
Yeah.
If that's what really got her going.
But especially, she does have, if this is the stuff that got her site back, that's the book she should be working on.
Yeah, that would also be awesome. I don't know how she came up with the business one that she's doing. It's kind of a cool concept, but apparently she doesn't care about it.
Yeah, really. And then that's the thing, it's why would I go to your thing if you're going to give me a coded link that's going to track me in your system? I have to log in. That's bullshit.
Yeah, you can't view it without giving them an email either.
That's not even friendly. You don't do that to your friends.
I'm wondering if she maybe has a thing where it just texts everybody in her phone that message.
Oh, that could be too. Yeah, and that makes more sense.
Because it would be weird that she would send me that, the same exact thing she sent you.
Yeah.
And our last conversation was, "Are you gonna get this video ready?"
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, actually. That I asked her if she's got it, and then she sends me that. It's well, that doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, but if it's just an automatic thing, then it's not that offensive. That's so funny though. Think about these things. We should think about these. I should think about those things. I could have done the same thing. Now I'll think twice about doing that, thanks to Kim. Sometimes it's easier just to click a button that says send all.
Yeah.
Get a cup of coffee. here we have a sheriff's department that says, we don't care what the governor tells you to do. You guys do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If he tells us to come after you, we're not doing it. He has to bring his own people down here and his own resources.
Mm-hmm.
That's Lewis County.
Yeah, a lot of the counties in Southern Oregon have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising, I guess, but.
Mm-hmm. And then Spiffies, you know, they actually had to bring their own people. They made them bring their own people down there, so the sheriff wasn't doing it. So, so they came down there, they did their thing, and now I heard through the grapevine, I don't know what the official word is yet, but that Spiffies is going to close. And they're not closing because of the COVID, they're closing because they can't hire people to work there.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather stay home and make more money getting COVID money.
Yeah, and it's typical. And it's amazing how there's just help wanted signs everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
And
they're even putting there, please apply. Please, I've never seen please apply before.
I know.
They're putting please apply on the signs. I'm like, oh that's gonna hurt. They're begging people.
I keep seeing that. I'm like, I should get a job. I'm like, wait a second. Why? I would make less money doing that than if I just coded all the time, you know, for people. But it's like, I keep seeing. I'm like, man, there's so many jobs. I just get another job.
Yeah. I have never seen so many jobs, so many help wanted signs ever. And here we are. All these, and everybody's unemployed, but I get it, you know. I get it. Stay home, free money. God, what have we come to?
So, what's the next step for our stuff?
Which stuff?
I don't know.
We got all kinds of stuff. Like, we made all this room now, basically, so that we could do this other stuff. And now David Gibson's breaking week. I'm sure whatever he has to do at home is not as important as what we could do here for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why he was feeling like it was okay to again. First time okay, so he said he had reservations made, so I had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This was just got some stuff to do around the house. Okay. That's like gives us a week of like no forward motion. I don't know, that's not cool.
Well, we can still coordinate through.
We can, but like I was thinking about like a promo, about doing a promo. I just haven't had the time yet to kind of slap together something. But I do like the concept of being able to get things done, important things, with it not seeming like work.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I found an app you might want to check out. It's gamified like weight loss diet thing.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and it's got the whole like quiz lead-in where it's like we do it's customized your, and I got it just to see what it is. It's called Noom, Noom, and it seems pretty good. It's kind of cool because it's got a lot of like every day you've got 5 or 6 different tasks to do, and some of them are the normal like log your weight, log your food, but they also have lessons each day. So it kind of reminds me of the way we were planning on doing our stuff.
Yeah.
And then each lesson, there's a lot of psychological component to it, basically. So I thought that it was interesting. I just came across it randomly, and it's very, very gamified, the whole thing.
Yeah.
From the way they withhold, so you can only do so much per day of the lessons. They have like scores and stuff. And it's also very tied in with their whole group thing. So they actually like assign you a person, like a real coach when you log on that you can interact with, and then they kind of encourage you to do group stuff. And so a lot of the concepts we were playing with are in this. And it's not like a game, but it's gamified to do something that's basically learning and work. So cool way of doing it.
NOOM. Is it free? There must be a free level.
No. Oh, so there's
level up after you get in there.
It's pretty expensive when you do it full, but there's a 7-week trial, and it's pay what you want. So I paid like $1 or something, or $3 to do the free trial, and then you gotta cancel it before because they'll charge you a card for the full amount. But
yeah.
And the sales process was good. I did it online. I didn't do it through the app because I found online, but they had a full funnel. It started out with it was like a question or like a quiz funnel basically. So they asked you a bunch of questions, but I noticed they throw in like some pre-qualification like ones like how much time would you be willing to invest daily to do and obviously from what I've learned with the questionnaire funnels, that's not there but for them to actually know. That's there for you to make a commitment to something. Then when they say, okay, it's 5 minutes a day, you're like, oh, well, I already said that I would, so kind of thing. And they give you options, but they don't care what the option is because they're going to use whatever, the lowest option is enough for them basically. So they choose it so that you can't be like, oh, well, it's too long for me because you already said. And they have a bunch of stuff in there like that.
Wow.
And then they have an upsell.
And you saved that, by the way, right? You saved all that?
No, I couldn't save it, but you can go through it any time, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but there's a lot of pages, so it would be like a lot to save. It'd be interesting to go through it a couple times and see what the different variations are, if there are any, based on the answers.
Yeah.
But very well done, and they had an upsell at the end where they can just make a quick $30-40. After they had a couple upsells, I was pretty amazed by how hardcore they sold the upsells because it was like here's a $30-40 upgrade basically, like in a custom meal plan and add-on type thing. And then if you said no, immediately went to okay, we'll take off 15% more,
Yeah.
And then you're like no, but it was very difficult to figure out which was actually the one to say no. And then they went to another upsell that was like, do you want to just because it was free trial, right, for like $3, $7, whatever. And then, and they used the social proof thing, which was awesome, to try to get you to give them more because they said, most people choose this one, and it costs us $22 to pay the people for the time that you were in the trial, like pay our employees for your portion of the trial. So we recommend you choose that one, and most people choose that one. I'm like, that's because in the book they talk about that.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
They did a bunch of studies, one of which was in hotels and things you could write to get people to use their towels over again, and they tried stuff like it saves the environment and it does this, and the one that they found that did way better was 75% of our guests recycle their towels, and then so majority of people would see that and go, okay, well, I'll do it too.
Yeah.
So anyway, they use that same kind of thing, and so they wanted to upsell the whole package at the end, and then if you said no, they said, okay, well, how about 20% off? I'm like, I'd never seen that before, whereas literally you say no and then they give you a bigger discount.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. They must be I'm pretty sure they're making bank on this thing. And they have a bunch of upsells in the app, like you can get one-on-one coaching. And they'll actually, if they see you're not logging your stuff, they'll actually call you and be like, why are you not logging your stuff? In fact, I'm pretty sure they'll do that. I'm going to I'm going to do it for a little while and then stop doing it and see what they do, but I'm pretty sure they're going to contact you and be like, why are you not logging your stuff?
Wow.
So, very good system. So I think we could crib some stuff from that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Definitely sound like we got a pretty well nailed down. I like the our cost is $22.
Yeah.
That's brilliant because I would probably go ahead and that's one that would get me. It's like, oh, I totally understand about it. what your overhead's like, because I do the same thing.
Mhm.
If I could get someone to do it just for my overhead cost, then that's fair. Then that's a wash, and I don't feel guilty, and I think that I could do that. I'd probably give them the $22.
Mhm.
I would fall for that one, and I'm going to use that one. Basically, that's what we're doing. The $7, we already know it costs $7.
Mhm.
You pay $7. It's a wash for us.
Well, it's cool the way they did it as far as choose your own price.
Mhm.
I bet that's a really good strategy because people, the whole trial is there just to sell you on the thing, right? So you really want people in it at any price.
Even if you for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do the whole, well, it costs us this much, but if people want to, you want people to pay something, because just for the buy-in of that,
Yeah.
even if it's a couple bucks. So if somebody's like, oh,
Well, plus you got to put your credit card in there. You don't get a credit card if it's not $1, So.
yeah, exactly, because they're going to charge you if you don't cancel it, which is another awesome strategy.
Yeah.
And then they even have a higher, like, hey, you want to give us $50?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they tell you too that if you buy the whole thing, you get, that's subtracted from your total, so you don't feel like you lost anything.
Right. Which makes sense. That's great. Most of the stuff we've seen doesn't have that. You're just always paying more.
Mhm.
What you say goodbye to what you paid before. That was for that. This is
Mhm.
for the next thing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for some other stuff if it's a completely different product, but for this where it's like a subscription thing, where like you pay for the full series of courses, and they have one of the reasons I thought it applied to us is they have like you're doing short like 7-day mini courses type things, and then they have like a course progress chart. So you do course 1 and then course 2, and you're like working your way down.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and so all of this is like over the course of several months. But so like this would be our thing. I think they're shorter than the ones we were planning, but
Yeah.
and they even have like the progress bar as far as calories and stuff, and yeah, my assigned coach is a cute lady,
Well,
but she keeps texting me stuff. I'm sure it's just pre-programmed, but
maybe not. Maybe they have a way that if you've gone through the program, you can be an employee or kind of deal.
yeah, I don't know. I know they have their one-on-one coaching program, and then this is like my guess is it's probably like they have whatever so many like public-facing coaches, and then it goes to like a help center in like India or something, because it's all by text, right? So
Yeah.
and I think they have a pre-programmed set of messages that come to you like every day from your
Coach.
your coach, because they have 2 levels of coaching. The one is just the one that comes with it, basically, where it's if you ask something they'll contact you, but then you have every day like a message from the fake person. But then I'm pretty sure when you text something back, it's not going to go to Maria or the heck her name was, this chick. I'm pretty sure, Laura, that's her name. I'm pretty sure it's going to go to some team of people I have with a set of standard responses for all the different things that people would say or ask.
Yeah.
Heck, it might even be an AI, because I know people are doing that stuff now for like real estate and things like that, because people tend to have similar kinds of questions, and so the AI is pretty good at figuring out like what bucket this one goes into, and it'll just send a response that makes, so like people ask like what's the price of this house on a text, it'll just give them the response, and then real people can look over it, and if it's something, it'll flag ones that it thinks needs attention that it's not sure about, and then it can go to a real person. And as you do that more and more, you can tell it, oh, this one should have been that response, or you can go back and say, okay, that one wasn't the right response for this, and then AIs, how they're coded, will learn based on that, and then we get better and better at doing the response they want. So I bet they have something like that going.
Yeah.
Which we could too. Maybe for our thing, we should have, because we're planning on having a messaging system, and definitely where you could contact people in your team at the least. But it'd be cool to have like messages from the dungeon master or something.
Yeah.
just like some daily interaction. And then if they texted us, it could be the same kind of thing where we could have it set up to where it's kind of automated responses and could go to its customer support. Because I like the idea of having somebody's picture there and being like, this person's talking to you,
Yeah.
like from our company.
Regardless of whether that's a public domain picture or whatever.
Yeah, because people feel like they let somebody down if they're like ignoring, you know, or whatever. So you want to have a face there.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff. So for the Gamify thing, we're still working on stuff from last time, basically, right?
Yeah. Promo ideas, I think we're still working on a way to package some kind of promotional effort. Which,
Yeah, because we wanted to do the webinar stuff
yeah.
and put up a quick funnel. So like, unless you did something I'm not aware of, we still need to do that, I guess. And I'm still working on coding stuff. And then I haven't seen much from Gibson about what he was gonna do, the different videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he did his 20-minute one, but that one was supposed to be used theoretically as an upsell.
Yeah, that's why he was last, right? So in the rotation, because it would give us something to sell at the end, basically. Would be we would invite people to do our thing, make money online, right?
Which rotation? What are you talking about?
This the 20-minute talk you did to build your practice.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was going to have a component in there that was going to talk about our gamification system. No.
Well, the thought was that we would make a webinar funnel, right? And it's a free webinar. But then when they sign up for the webinar, we would say, hey, for $7 or whatever, for $15, you can get that talk as a paid thing, the one that he did. So he wouldn't necessarily need to upsell the gamification stuff.
Okay.
It was more just a talk, free content that we could use relative to the people we'd be marketing to for the Gamify funnel.
Right.
That we could use as an upsell to recoup the cost of the marketing,
Yeah.
Facebook ads and stuff, theoretically. So it doesn't really matter what is in there so much. I mean, ideally it'd be something that also sells the gamification concept, but I don't know if I'd really, it's not a great, honestly, I don't know if his talk was that great as far as something we'd want to sell people. It's not bad. I mean, I don't know why we couldn't get started with it, but
Yeah.
I think there's room for improvement there.
Yeah. And definitely his add-on video was really disappointing until he got to the last, when he decided what he was going to talk about. It's like he just kind of fished around, picked his nose a lot, and then got to, and then he got to but the most important thing is to take care of yourself first, blah blah blah. He kind of got it whittled down to what he wanted to share. So he's saying the whole time, he's just pretty much just kind of wasting time trying to say how much he cares about these people and how much build this emotional bond he's trying to build with them. Not really saying anything. And kind of throwing different things out there until he's like, oh yeah. So you see that he kind of finally got into a groove and then was able to close it out.
Well, I could probably edit out some of that, leave his intro and then edit out that stuff and cut back into when he's doing the better stuff if we want.
Oh, I leave it the way it is because it's David Gibson. We don't care. I mean, we don't really, as long as he gets to express himself, that's fine. We'll get the best work out of him if we just let him do what he thinks is important like that. He really thinks that's really important, that little add-on piece, he forgot. And he did. The final message was to take care of yourself. You can't do any of this work unless you take care of yourself first. That was actually the piece that he left out of the other part. But it took him a while to get there.
Well, another question is, do we plan on selling his speech, his portion, as an upgrade? Because if we do, it may make sense not to have it in the replay. Because then it would be freely available other places. I don't know that it matters too much, but if I'm going to redo the replay, maybe we want to take out his talk and be elated for
I don't feel like his talk is, the delivery was good enough to, I wouldn't feel good. Of course, it's just $7, just to get him into a funnel, but.
It'd be fine. I mean, we can just shoot something else or use something else we have as an upsell.
I mean, we have stuff that's worth a lot. I mean, yours, if you did the other half of it, I mean, you're only halfway through it, that would be worth paying for. Because you're actually drilling down saying, like, if you have any kind of practice, this is how you move your clients from one level to the next. Brilliant!
Well, I could do a more, I can do that again better.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can sell that if you want.
That
With slides
would be
and
a
stuff.
great upsell. And you're spending more time and there's more to articulate and it's very well organized because you're following Hawkins' chart. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that is a huge value right there. If you were to go through that whole list, there you go.
Mhm.
There is how to be an effective counselor right there.
Yeah, I can do that for our upsell.
That would be worth it, yeah.
I got something that's pretty sweet, I think, to help with the video thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking around and I found an app called Filmic Pro. And so it just uses your camera, right?
Yeah.
But it's got all the adjustments you could ever want as far as like exact focus. You can set zoom, you can set the darkness and lightness manually, and then you lock it in. And so it's like you can, the good thing is,
Wow.
like you set the focus, and there is a semi-automatic mode to where you like focus on that and then click that, and then it doesn't ever change when you're recording, which is nice.
That's
But
nice, yeah.
the big thing is, basically every single thing you could ever want as far as settings is here. So like you're seeing the real audio levels here, so you know you're recording. You can adjust the volume. You can choose exactly which camera you're using if your phone has multiple cameras. And I'm trying to find where it is actually. Oh yeah, the big thing is you can film in a higher quality than the camera normally allows. So like this is the standard. So it takes more file size obviously, and you can film in 10-bit, which means that you have way better color resolution. And then when you would transcode it down, obviously when you edit it, but which means you can do a lot of the color grading after in post. So you get way better quality colors, and you have really good control of all the color stuff here as well.
Wow.
So it basically is all the stuff I had in my really nice camera, but in the phone. And so the big thing though is that 10-bit high quality video files.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a series on Amazon, like a TV series, that they filmed only with smartphones using that app. And it's there being recommended next to like multi-million-dollar movies. That works basically the same.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
Wow, they're all iPhones, I'm sure. But.
no, they use a Samsung.
Oh, really? Wow.
But the cameras are the cameras and the high-end phones are all made basically by the same company.
Yeah.
So you're just putting a different spin on it. I mean, like Samsung has a few different things as far as the capabilities is what Apple has, like the ability to, there's like auto blur background stuff you can do. So that's one thing about this is you don't, even with a good phone camera, it's really difficult to get the blur background effect that people like, the bokeh, because your lens is just not the right size and shape for that. There are ways around it, but whatever. So the phones have a fake one where it like senses where, and basically does a rough cutout of where it thinks the person is and then blurs the rest of it.
Yeah.
And there's an iPhone version, because iPhones have a camera that does only distances, like using infrared. And so there's another app I found where it can actually store the distances separately, and then you can go in after and actually adjust the blur distance. So you're like adjusting focus after.
Oh shit.
I don't know how, I mean, the resolution of that distance one is not super great, so it's still not as good as a real lens, but, it's doable. So I'm excited to play with that app and see what, because the one I did before was only, this way with lower quality recording than what that offers. So I can't wait to see, now that I have my mirror, use this one Oh, and another thing
Oh, you
I
have the
could
mirror
do-
now.
Yeah, I got the mirror. I got the mount, so I can actually mount it on a tripod.
Nice.
So I can do a better quality one than I did before, hopefully, and test this concept out because if people have a decent phone, obviously, like my previous couple phones would not have been able to do this, but a lot of people have decent phones. So people with decent phones can pay, $7 for the tripod mount, pay 20, $30 for a tripod, and then maybe the mirror thing if that works out, and then the app is like $15. So, that's a pretty minor investment to be able to sell a professional TV series on Amazon, which is like.
That is pretty cool.
So I'll play with that some. That would be nice because if we figured out an app like this for when we're training people, and we can be like, okay, we don't need to be like, well, and every phone is different. You download this app, it's basically exactly the same.
Yeah.
And we just say, okay, here's a list of like 25 phone types that we would recommend as having a good enough camera. Like, if you don't have one of those, get one of those. Go get a new cell phone plan and get a good phone. And that would be enough to where we wouldn't have to mess around with all of the Kim and Bob stuff where it's like, I don't know how to do this. Well, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
The only thing would be uploading, but now that we know that the YouTube app is so...
It's so easy.
The one thing is it is not the same layout. The UI isn't the same from Android to iPhone. But that's fine. We can just do two.
Yeah.
Like iPhones look like this, Androids look... The only difference is where the upload button is.
Yeah.
And so that's just show them that. So that would be a way to whittle this down, and then we can show them exactly like ring light, mirror, tripod, and we can even put a link in. Like these are the ones we use on Amazon. And so if you have one, use it. If you don't, buy this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. That actually I bet that video. If you get that video with you using the mirror on the tripod thing, I mean, I just have a feeling like that in itself, that little tutorial would go like viral. That would be so cool. It'd be so cool to see somebody do that,
Yeah. I've never seen anything like it, so I'm kind of surprised nobody's thought of that. Maybe it sucks. I don't know.
Maybe, but I think it's cool.
Well, and there's another way I thought of doing it too, where instead of, because I was thinking of having this hit like this and then you bounce it to you, right?
Yeah.
Which is all right. It may be I was thinking it might be difficult to get everything aligned right to where you can see the screen and it's reflecting it. So that might be the limitation. But another way to do it is actually just have it like this, right? You're standing right in front of it, but then you have the mirror here, so at least you can see yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then if all that didn't work, this app has another option where you buy, it's like another $5 I think, but you download another app on your another phone or whatever, basically anything that takes apps, and you can control your camera from that app, and it shows you the same exact interface, but for the other thing, right? So I could have my little phone here, my good phone recording me, and I can control everything here, standing here, looking at it.
What the hell? That's cool.
Yeah, start recording everything. So it's remotely controlled.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that worked. The one thing is you have to be, I think you have to have a LAN to do it. So you have to be like on Wi-Fi and connect on the same Wi-Fi network with both of them.
That might be difficult
I think.
where you're at, because you're out in the woods, right?
Well, I do have a Wi-Fi router there, so I would just have to be on my Wi-Fi, and I couldn't go like way out in the woods.
Right.
But
I can't go very far away from mine. It doesn't work.
now you may be able to, it's possible because you can make a Wi-Fi on one of the phones, like as.
Oh yeah.
Now I think.
Hotspot.
Yeah, well, there's a hotspot, but there's also like peer-to-peer connections over Wi-Fi, where there's no internet involved, but you can connect one to the other. I don't know if that would work for that system, but it might. In which case you can do it forever, yeah.
Yeah.
Or there is like Bluetooth tethering too. This may get way into the complexity of it, but I think there's a way to share internet over Bluetooth. In which case you would have one, even if you're not connected to the internet, I think you could share it and they would be as if they were on the same network, which is all you would need. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it, so.
Yeah. That sounds pretty exciting.
But it's kind of nice to know that that's an option. Whip out one of my older phones and have a control phone and a nice high quality recording phone. And I think that remote app can control multiple cameras at the same time. So you could have like your pickup camera, your main camera, but they're all just phones.
Yeah.
And then you're controlling it from the one there, and then you can start recording on all of them, and then do your thing, and then pause or whatever.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Pretty good setup, I think.
Yeah.
Because it'd be nice to get a setup where it's just like, you know, you want to record something like, you know, it's 15 seconds or less than a minute. You whip out your tripod, put the thing on, press record. You know for sure. Like one of the things I love about that is it shows the levels very clearly. So you can be way in the distance and okay, I can see I'm actually recording audio. You would notice if it wasn't jumping around, right?
Right, yes, exactly.
And I know it's in roughly the right range. I'm not too quiet. You know that it's recording because you can see the big recording thing. And you have the high quality files with the log 10, so even if you fuck up the white balance with log 10, you can actually fix it in post, where with the normal video files you only get so much wiggle room with the color adjustments before it looks horrible.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone's using now is for like real professional stuff. They're not trying to get the color right in the camera, they're just using that high quality 10-bit output, and then you can do a lot with it afterwards as far as adjusting the color.
It's Kim Law.
Oh, perfect. I was wondering where she was.
Hello, is this Kim?
It is. I just got home from church.
Oh.
It took 5.5 hours.
What's that?
What are you talking about? It takes 5.5 hours.
I can fly there in 5.5 hours, pick up your file, and bring it back.
God, is it that important to you?
Yes.
Oh, you're so funny.
So if I'm willing to do that, or whatever else we need to do to get that file here in Daniel's hands tonight, if possible.
All right, we're gonna have to walk through with Bob on, because I've been doing I did a 2.5 hour training for Care Beyond yesterday.
Yeah.
Point and all that kind of stuff, and between that and an hour training every single morning this week, it's been crazy for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So
I'm hoping you can find 20 minutes for us, or for you, actually.
I get it. Alright, let me, give me a minute, because I literally just walked in the door.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
And turn my computer on and all that kind of jazz, and I'll call you back.
Perfect. All right. Love you.
Alright, night too. Bye-bye.
Okay, now we're on the right track. Shouldn't have to.
Anyway, badger them repeatedly.
Yeah. You just gotta do what you gotta do. That's good. $80. Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit. You should just go down there anyway for fun.
No, when you're at the airport, just bring it to me at the airport. Buy me a cup of coffee. I'll come back on the plane and go. Shit.
Yeah, I should get some tickets for the, because that's near where the Funnels Live thing is.
Oh, maybe if you buy those tickets now, you can get it really cheap.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at them. I was thinking I might just drive there because there's some areas I want to check out for the off-grid stuff on the way. But if it's that cheap, fuck it.
I know.
I mean, even though the night I would need to go would be like the more expensive one, it's so much cheaper. I might just go a day early and like get a hotel.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Plus, then I have time to adjust my clock to the time change.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know, my sleep schedule's so messed up. It's ridiculous. Like I hardly slept. What's today? Sunday. So I barely slept Friday. I barely slept Thursday night, and then Saturday I didn't sleep like almost at all. And then because after the casino for some reason, I slept like 2 hours and then I woke up and I couldn't sleep.
Ah!
And then so I was doing some work and then I kind of got tired Saturday morning. And so I went to bed and then I woke up and it was like night.
Mhm.
So I slept almost all day. I'm like, I hate that.
Yeah.
And then I ended up sleeping again after that. So I guess I needed to sleep, but it's like,
Yeah.
why my sleep schedules have always been so messed up. Okay, so we got her stuff hopefully working.
Yeah. Then finally we'll have our event done.
So if she gets it to me today, I can stick everybody's back in, adjust the title cards and stuff, and then re-encode it tonight, and then I should have it up probably tomorrow morning, assuming the encode works.
Yeah.
Which it should, but.
Great.
And then, so we got that. We don't really need to do anything for our people for the beta group because nobody has gotten to the next week yet. Week 11. And you already did all your stuff for week 11, right? I think, anyway.
Don't think 11. I already have that. It's already in there.
I
Is that
think
right?
you did it, yeah.
I think I did.
I haven't done mine, but I think you did that one. Because you didn't really, you were just, I think that was Google Business was the only one that you were going to do for that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do analytics and I was going to do, of course, the workshop for the
Yeah.
content stuff. So we're good there. So I think, I mean, we know what we need to do as far as get the Gamify thing going. We might want to reach out to Gibson and see, like, you know, where he's at with that stuff. And just reaffirm that we're actually doing it. I think we might have been, we probably would have had him here, is my guess, if we had been a little more proactive with saying, like, are you going to be here?
Yeah, or
Because
really good job probably. I was thinking I'm not giving him enough positive feedback during the week. I see him reaching out and you're doing a good job of giving him the feedback. I'm like, what do I have to add to this? But if I was more proactive, and he needs that kind of, you have to like pet him a little bit.
yeah,
And I have not been doing that. I've been ignoring. I'm not ignoring. I'm watching everything. But I think like, what can I say? Nothing. You know, I can't really say anything.
that would definitely help.
Yeah, maybe I need to do that more.
Well, plus I think we could have doubled down on the fact that we were going to meet because as unless you were contacting him separately, the only thing he saw was me asking a few days ago if we're meeting today, and then nothing else on there about that. So he could have been thinking this morning he's also not sure if we're meeting,
Right.
and been like, well, I'm just going to cut that off, you know, because you know it kind of sucks to be there going, are we going to meet? Are we not? So,
Yeah.
instead of saying reaching out again, he might have just wanted to make make a decision basically. When the easy decision is to not go. So
Yeah.
that could be something. But it doesn't. I don't think it matters too much because we still have a lot to do because we're kind of in the building phase. So even if he doesn't do it, I think we would want to do something like this, even if he's not involved for the future of our program, right? Is that so? We kind of need to do it either way, I think.
Yeah.
And so we do need to build the rest of the course as far as actually what exactly are we taking them through for the 30 days and verify it, and we want to start building a list.
And make our little videos.
Yeah,
Like
well,
the way that we're making the little videos now is cool because like once we make them, that's done.
yeah.
It's done. I wish now, in retrospect, I wish we were doing that ever, since the beginning.
Yeah.
The whole thing would be done.
It would be nice.
And if we want to change it, we just take this out and put that in. It's so easy.
Well, that's another task on the list is we need to figure out what are all the videos going to be, you know?
Yeah.
Because the way we taught it before is the information's there, but we need to be like, okay, this part of the SEO video could be its own thing, and this part of that video should be its own thing.
Yeah.
And have a list of like, okay, these are the 30 or 40 videos that we need to make, and then figure out exactly, because it's tough when we're just working by ourselves on stuff to really power through that. So if we had a list where it's like, these are the ones we're doing, okay, Dave's doing these ones, Daniel's doing these ones, or even not necessarily that, but Dave's writing them, Daniel's doing the recording, Gibson's doing the editing.
Animation.
Yeah. And if we figure out exactly what the style is, of the videos so that we can be consistent, and then exactly who's doing what steps and where that's coming from, then we can actually like get through a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But as it stands, I did kind of like my suggestion of what the style would be like, but then Gibson wanted to try his thing, which I would love if it worked, because I think it's less work than what I was doing.
Right. You're doing what I'm doing now is the hard way. What you're doing then is not as hard, but still hard. And the way he's doing it sounds like the easiest. But I don't know that it's the best, or that would be applicable to all pieces of all videos. Like if the whole video is a drawing, I don't think that's enough. And that's like too basic, I think, for it to be all done that way. I've never paid for a webinar that's ever had that as a component. Free ones I've seen, but not paid ones. I've never seen them use that draw thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, another thing we could do is find like somebody on Fiverr that does a style that we like, and then be able to offload some of that way too. Because when we get into it, we all may want to make a certain amount of investment into the Three Amigos Corporation. I forgot what we called it now, but the Justice League Inc.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Maybe we all throw in a couple hundred or something like that. As money to play with for stuff like that.
I don't know. I kind of like doing them. It's just they're time consuming. But I like doing them. I feel good, pretty good after doing them. Thinking.
Well, I wasn't thinking like they do the whole video.
Yeah.
It'd be more like we get the raw material together, and then instead of us sitting there editing it or using his thing, we find somebody with a style that we like. That
I've seen some really cool things on Fiverr.
Yeah, because people have setups where they've got Adobe Premiere or whatever,
Yeah.
and they have like basically a template, and they just throw the things in, and it looks good,
And it's crazy. It has all the right music and sound
Yeah.
effects and 3D and they do. Oh, yeah, and it's nothing for them because they have it set up already. But you have to pick one of the things that they show you.
Well, that would be that we need to find one. We would have to find one that we liked.
Yeah.
The way it is, we wouldn't tell them, okay, if there were little changes, that would be possible. But I don't think we'd want to find an editor and like try to develop a style with them. It would be we choose one that we like and it looks like that, and then that would be a way to, because we want to get towards getting people doing this, I think, as quickly as possible. So we don't want to spend months and months on these videos, I don't think.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get into your consciousness stuff. I mean, that fits in really good with some of the other stuff, like stuff that Rosa might like to do, stuff that I might like to do, where we can use those special effects that you know how to do, which is really cool.
I think I could teach you guys how to do that too. I mean, I'll do some of them for you guys if you want, but I can also teach you how to do that on yours, I think.
Wow.
Let me download it again.
I think I did, after you said it, somewhere along the line when I was working on these, I ran across I saw opacity as a setting somewhere, and I thought, that is what Daniel was talking about right there. So.
Yeah, roughly.
So if I had another thing, I didn't see a thing where I could draw edges around it though. I didn't see
I'm pretty sure they have that.
I might have it, yeah.
I think, well, I'm going to look into it. You guys are using VideoPad still, right?
Yeah.
Because there's
Maybe
only...
not. Maybe not. I mean, here's the deal with VideoPad. The girls bought VideoPad, but they have this really bad habit of deleting their emails.
Yeah, you would want to keep the activation for that. I would
Yeah,
think.
they didn't, right? So now it's asking for the code, and they don't have the code. They don't have their receipt. They don't have shit. And I'm like, well, what that... And luckily I found, for Rosa's yesterday, I found so we could finish her thing.
Are you sure they're actually deleting it and not archiving it?
Yeah.
Why would they?
Unfortunately, they know how to really delete stuff. God damn it! Who teaches these people this?
Yeah, if you got Gmail, I don't know why you would actually. No, I do actually delete, because I look through my archive semi-regularly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had my Gmail since college, so like over 10 years now. So there's some stuff back there I want, but if it's like a marketing or like an automated message from WordPress, I will actually just delete it if I know for sure I don't want it again. But yeah,
I
you shouldn't
know
be deleting that shit.
Every email I've gotten since, well, I don't know how far back my Hotmail goes. It goes way back. And I've never deleted a thing. I'm like, why would you delete anything? Why would you do that? They just keep giving you more space. They tell you you're going to run out of space, then they give you more. It's just how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to go away. I don't know why. They're not really serving up advertising, as I can tell. I don't know what the point of Hotmail is anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with Hotmail.
But still good. Has Outlook branding all over it.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe not. I'm not sure. It's kind of the way that this is set up is a bit different than a lot of other ones.
Yeah, the opacity piece, I think I can probably figure that out. It's the drawing the active area and then being able to blur it or whatever they call that.
Mm-hmm.
Blur the edges, which you were able to do, which made it look beautiful. You know.
Yeah, because they call it rotoscoping, and Final Cut has a full set of rotoscoping stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not like super pro, but it's usable. So you would all I did with the hand one is you can keyframe, like, so you just draw around it, right? It's like a vector path basically. Then you can go like 5 frames forward, do it again, and then it interpolates it between the two, and so then you could fix it up a little bit. I mean, the hand wasn't perfect, but that's basically. The other one, I just took it was literally, you can crop, but it's not a square. You could crop it to be a circle or oval or whatever, or kind of like a rounded square if you want. So that's all I did for that second one.
It kind of looked like you drew it, and then fuzzied it, the edges. This is what it looked like you did.
Nope.
It wasn't that at all. It was
I didn't draw, yeah.
It was just an oval.
Very quick, yeah.
Wow.
You just do the oval, and you have it fade off at the edges. And then for the colors, for the getting the actual effect on it, I didn't use only opacity. There's like a green screener, but it's for darkness, lightness, keyer. And so I use that, and because most of those had a black background, I took out the stuff that wasn't the smoke or whatever. And then, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I used, because like in Photoshop you can do, instead of just like straight overlay, you can do like darken, lighten, screen. So I used screen, a way of putting it on top of the other ones, and that made it look more like a thing on top of it instead of like just a picture that's pasted on it. But those are the only 3 steps I did. Use some kind of either rotoscoping or clipping. Did a chroma keyer, or not a chroma keyer, whatever the other one is, the other kind of keyer, and then I did screen overlay, and then it looked pretty good. So you probably have some of that stuff on here, but I'd have to look more. It's not obvious to me how to do it.
Well, I'm saying, since the girls wasted $80 a piece because of their email thing, we might have them buy another program. I don't know. I'm really crazy about spending money at the moment.
I don't even know what program I would recommend they buy if they're buying something else.
Well, you were saying that the good one, like Vegas or something, was cheap anyway, right?
Yeah, I've used Vegas before, and it is better.
And it's about the same price ranges.
Yeah. I'll see. Okay. I mean, I don't know if they can do all this stuff that I'm talking about.
Vegas?
It's likely that it can.
Or there are other programs out there like that. They're around the same price range.
Yeah, that's to say, I just don't know which one would do it. Vegas Movie Studio, yeah, it's $50 for the low end one, and it's $80 for the high end one. So
yeah, see, same price.
I bet you could do it with Vegas. I haven't used Vegas in a long time, and I only used it because a client bought it and wanted me to use it for something.
From looking at
Do you want me to keep recording this, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. We won't put this up, but for the Justice League, we'll put this up maybe on your backup server where you keep stuff.
Well, I can stick it on the same YouTube account like we've been doing. I just won't post it where everybody can, because you and I are the ones that can get on it anyway. So I just won't put it in our Discord.
Okay.
I'll just send it to you
Yeah. Okay.
as a hidden thing.
Yeah. Unlisted.
Yeah, I do all of them unlisted or hidden or whatever it is. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean,
Vegas?
yeah, it's always been kind of positioned as the the last step before you get into like pro level stuff. Like the big, well, the obvious one to use would actually be DaVinci Resolve because it is pro level but it's free. But the thing is, it doesn't work.
That's the thing. It's so top heavy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Now I don't know if Vegas is going to work any better for them or not. Honestly,
No.
all the computers you guys are rocking are just like glacially slow
Yeah.
for video editing.
Yep. Yep.
So
But-
it's tough.
Yeah, but VideoPad does work.
Yeah, but VideoPad's like a way old piece of software, which is
Is
why
it?
it does work.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing. It's really difficult to find resource efficient video editors. For some reason, they're just not good.
Yeah.
Now Vegas may work. I don't know, but the thing is, they're continually updating it, so it may not work.
That's true. As soon as it updates,
Mm-hmm.
like Windows 10.
That was the thing I was really, I really liked about. Not when I got it, but now that I've had it for a long time, Final Cut, because this is a very old piece of this is very old hardware, very old, and it still runs perfect, even on the new updates. So,
Yeah.
but you guys don't have it only runs on Mac, unfortunately.
Yeah. I use a couple other things, like I pay for Nero to use it, and I update it periodically, and it's about the same price. But no, what I like about that is that it has the best DVD burning tool of anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only DVD burning tool that I know of that will play on any DVD player. The other ones are like, you gotta like rolling the dice whether it's gonna work on someone else's system. That one is rock solid.
Yeah, it's been the market leader for a long time.
Yeah.
It was always the one to get.
And I used it on this time for the green screen on it. It was okay, not great, but I wasn't using as high res as I was hoping to use. I was really hoping to do the 4K on this one. So my next, whatever the next video is definitely going to be the cell phone. I'm going to use that. So I'm thinking I might want to do it with the mirror.
Yeah, give that a try.
Yeah, because the mirror sounds like such a cool thing. You use the front camera, use the mirror behind, or however that would work. I have to figure it out.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
The thing about the mirror with the screen facing view is I'm thinking you would have to tilt it this way, have the mirror here, and you'd be standing like here. So I'm not sure with like the dimensions you have as far as how far you can put the camera away without seeing the edges or without with the neck you have, whether you would have to be like crazy like this to where you're barely seeing it. So it'll just, I haven't really pulled it out and done the whole deal.
Yeah.
In fact, I was kind of thinking if you weren't going to come today, I would just go home and mess with it some because I didn't bring my stand and stuff here. And I wasn't sure if you were going to come in or not. So that's why I texted you. I'm like, are you going to come?
Really? Oh, man.
Well, because I know we talked about before, but I didn't see a response to Gibson's thing. And I thought maybe if Gibson wasn't coming, you wouldn't want to, we just work on our stuff. So.
Yeah.
But he didn't send anything until after I was here.
Oh, yeah, so we're going to have to pick a restaurant. What restaurant do you think?
Is anybody else coming?
Yeah, the girls. They have to bring you your
Nice
replacements.
Yeah, that's funny.
So funny. And he came by today with keys because he took my keys with him yesterday. He came over yesterday to come take a look at one of the cars, and I had to jump it and blah blah. And so he had his keys. He brought them, drove all the way here just to return the keys. I thought that was cool.
That's nice of him.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so we all laughed though about him eating all your salsa. It's like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, they were more upset about it than I was.
So funny, just
still some
started
left.
dumping it on.
Yeah.
Whoa!
He's like, I would have had it all.
Oh, it's so funny.
What about that place we went with Gibson the first time? Sideliners? What is it? Swingers?
Swingers?
Not swingers. The place that's moving to the theater.
Oh yeah, McFilers.
McFilers, yeah.
I don't know. Can we find it? Wow, Taraji's looking good.
What's that?
She's an actress
Oh,
that looks like the gal, the dancer that I brought up here for Christmas
nice.
from Vegas. Looks just like her. I like that. So I've been following her, but I guess she's like really famous. This Taraji somebody. But sometimes she has pictures of herself on there that are like really alluring.
Nice.
But then I can't help but think that she's probably a psychopath who wants to pork my granddaughter.
It could happen.
Okay, so I guess I'll have to try to figure out how to make it back there again. It was crazy. Okay, it's not far away. Maybe I just stay here and walk there.
Yeah, it's just at that corner right there.
Yeah, somehow it's hard to find that place.
I don't mind if we want to go somewhere else. That was just fine. I was thinking I could get a nice salad there and maybe a beer or something.
Yeah, sounds good. Me too. Let's see.
Maybe a hamburger. Are we going soon? Or like meeting them at 2 or?
2, yeah. I mean, unless we want to get out of here early.
I don't really care.
So what path are you on over there? Let's see, I got distracted here.
sound hungry.
I am. Hello, this is David Masters. You might remember me from davidmmasters.com.
I love you, Dave. You're so cute. All right, so I have a question for you. If we somehow figure out how to get this over to you, a friend of mine was telling me he had a suggestion that would make it even better, which is to show examples of, what we did and how it worked. If I was able to add that, could you slice it in? Do you guys have the ability to do that?
Yeah, that is possible, but you're going to send us that as well today?
Well, part of it I could. Let's figure out how to get this one to you first. So walk me through what I got to do.
Okay, so you have your YouTube app, right, on your phone? If not, you'll have to download the YouTube app first, install that.
All right, hold on. Let me do that because I don't have the YouTube app, but I have a thing on my phone where the camera says YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, hold
Well,
on.
it's just easiest way to use the.
Hey, I'm gonna follow what your directions are because I've been trying for how long to do this.
I know, yeah.
Okay, I'm really not in that. Well, okay, I am in some things, and this is one of them.
Uh-huh.
But most things I can figure out. Okay, YouTube. I have a YouTube app on my phone. Go get it. Here we go. Found it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, went to Google and it's there. Now what do I do?
Okay, so now there should be, now that you're open there's a little, a Bayer tablet.
A what?
A round circle with a plus in the middle of it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no? Okay, let me pull up.
I'm gonna do a screenshot. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay,
Okay.
Let me see what mine looks like. I don't know.
I'm gonna do a screenshot and I'm gonna send this to you so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. How's that sound? And I'm gonna send you on WhatsApp or text message.
Text message probably.
Okay. All right. Hang on, Dear Master. Okay, it's gone.
Okay, and then I'll look. Okay, so
And by the way,
mine at the bottom, it has a home, something, a little circle with a.
Oh, that plus sign.
Ah!
Wait, hold on, let me get to the right place. Shoot. Well, that wasn't there when I was looking at
Okay, all right, yeah, no problem.
Okay, I see the plus sign. All right, I hit the plus sign now. Upload a video. Oh my god! Stop. Stop. Give me a break. Holy crumb! Are you serious?
It's so easy, yeah.
Yeah, it is. If you don't want to go. Give me a try. Don't give me a hard time doing it. Okay, description. Add a description. Kim's stress-free day. No. Kim Law. Monetizing.
Yeah, monetizing autism. Yeah.
Well, I put monetizing gifts.
Okay, that's fine.
Monetizing gifts. Okay. Have description. And it didn't do that. Okay, create a title.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about having all that stuff correct. We just wanted you to get the file up there so we can get it, and then we'll take it from there. Doesn't matter what you fill in the blanks with, really.
Okay, well, I'm working on it, my friend.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm ready. Next. It's got a next button.
A next button.
It has a next button. Okay. See, after this, I'll be a professional.
Exactly.
It is
Yeah.
for kids.
Yeah. Not for kids.
No.
No.
Okay, upload. There we go.
Ta-da!
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
That was it. But now you need
Okay.
they'll give you a URL which you'll need to copy and send to us.
What says verify? You need to verify your account with phone number to publish.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to do this again.
Video. This one, verify. What do I got to do?
Okay.
That's not my number.
Yeah, so no,
Dude.
that's a fake number. So click verify and put in your number, and it'll send you a text code.
Yeah, I just did. Hang tight.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm
We're going to keep
holding.
you phone so
Okay.
that I can, I know your little friend probably thinks I'm totally inept. Okay, when it comes to this, I am, so just do it. Okay, 34, 39, 70, 34, 39, 70, 34, 39, 70. Dang it, 34, 39. 34, 39. Why does it keep doing this? 34, 39, 70. Okay. 34, 39, 70. Phone number verified. I did something right.
Yay! But now you'll have to probably upload that file again, I'm guessing.
I don't know. So how do I find it?
You just have to go back through this process again. That's been I don't know that you have to do that, but usually when you have a partially uploaded one, it's going to take a while before it starts picking up again. So just go back to the beginning and upload it again.
Alright, hold on. Walk me through this.
And then this time it'll
There.
take the whole thing.
Next. Okay. Monetizing. Autistic gifts. Okay, so we're going. Oh, well, I didn't know how to spell gifts, did I? Gee, Merry Christmas.
It's fine.
No, it's not. If the public arena sees it, they're gonna think I'm autistic. Give me a break.
They're not going to see it. I mean, unless you want them to see it.
Well, I can't even find where I put the thing. It's made for kids now. What? Okay, so how do I know where to find it now?
Okay, so now when it's completed, is it done?
It says it is.
Okay, so just to the right of the plus button at the bottom, you'll see one that says library.
Library, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then you click on your videos.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, my video's not in there. Oh, you're up 2 uploads. Okay.
Haha!
Oh my gosh.
There you go. And then.
Oh wait, there's about 2 hours uploading. One is at 1%, one is at 2%. So let me do this. I'll stop one of them. Delete that upload. Because that one has like delete upload, yes. And that way, there's only one working, so it says 2 hours remaining. 1% uploaded.
Okay. Well.
See, you didn't even have to fly from Washington State here. Aren't you happy?
Yeah, and then it'll be uploaded in less time than it would take me to fly there. Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah. Only 2 hours instead of 5.
That's good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so let me.
If I'd had this help days ago, you would have had it days ago.
Exactly, yeah.
Instead of somebody saying, oh, just go do this. Oh, well, I have no idea what this is. So you got to understand, being a blind for all those years, everything that I did on my phone was, what do you call it? By sound.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right, yeah.
So I never saw what the icons looked like.
Right.
So I had no idea what I was looking for. It would just read in the background what the,
Yeah.
So that's why I, didn't know what things looked like. They said, oh, well, just go to this button. Well, if I was, no idea what this button said. Now that I can see, I have the biggest idea what this button is. What the icon looks like. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
People take for granted that I know what this stuff is, but I've never seen it.
Yeah. So now, all you have to do is send me the URL after it gets done uploaded, and then, or send it to Daniel, actually. And then, because he's putting together the show tonight for the replay that goes out tomorrow. So
Okay.
you'll be able to be included there.
That's for Daniel. He's gonna be so glad that this is over. Oh my God.
I know.
He's scratching me out.
And if you want to upload those additional videos, I would do that as well as quickly as possible. No guarantee that they'll make it in, depending on what time they get here. But
Well, it was just a thought. A friend of mine, he watched the video.
yeah,
And it was his suggestion. And I was like, oh, that's actually a really good idea, because then it gives people an idea of samples of, what can do. Because I talked about when I was blind, how people would say, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. You're so, I will find a way.
Yeah.
And so I literally did the tile in my house.
yeah.
And I was blind. I cut the tile, and I did a pretty daggone good job. Actually,
Yeah.
there's some places that I went, blind person did that.
Uh-huh.
And I told my kids, I was like, why didn't you tell me that looked good? They said, well, we didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I'm like, no, how can I learn if you didn't do that?
Yeah.
So, anyways. Yep.
All right. Well, now you know how to do it. So I'll let you go find that other stuff and see if you can get that uploaded too.
How to teach dummies how to do YouTube.
There you go.
Teaching dummies how to what's that dummy book series that they have?
Oh yeah.
Computers for dummies, YouTube for dummies.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Except for this one's only 60 seconds long. Just don't need a book. It's a video. Just open the app, click on the bear-looking tablet at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry for stressing you out.
No problems. I'm glad it all came together.
Yeah, it's been Yeah, the trip. I'll be doing a trip. Well, I'm finally glad to be home. I'm trying to get my house back in order because it's like totally destroyed from all the emptying out the car and just throwing everything in the house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So, and then because I ended up doing a 45-minute training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then a 2.5-hour training on yesterday, and that was with PowerPoint presentation. So, you know, my portion of it, the actual training, my section was like 45-50 minutes long, something like that I had to do.
Yeah.
And so when I get the link to that, I'll send it to you so you can see it.
Cool.
It's about, what was the title of my talk yesterday? Success something or other? Oh yeah, success is guaranteed.
Well, there you go. Sounds like a good
Yeah. So, as long as Kim's not trying to post something on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, now you got it covered. Good job.
All right, my friend.
Okay, talk to you later.
Very good.
You bet.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Finally. How hard was that, really? Jeez. Click the little.
Yeah. Which plus?
Yeah. There's only one. I don't even have one. There's not one. Oh, it's at the bottom. There it is. Jeez. You working on a stream over there?
The stream now.
No. What are you doing? Being Mr. Proactive.
Yeah. We're good, I think.
Are we good?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Oh, anything else you want to talk about?
Let's see. Talk about solving the world's problems.
Uh-huh.
We talked about our group relieving us from all kinds of pressure to move forward to the next module 12. We got getting the stream thing finally put together with Kim's piece.
Yeah, hopefully she remembers to give me when it's uploaded?
Yeah.
2 hours is a long time to upload. You must be on like a really poor connection.
2 hours is a very long time. It didn't even take me 2 hours. And I got like horrible. I don't know what she's using for. I think it took 40 minutes for me to.
Oh, maybe it'll go faster, but assuming I get that from her, we'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
As far as that, I mean, I'll need to encode it, like I said, and then I'm going to be encoding this audio to a video. So got a bit of encoding to do, but that's good to go. So I think we're pretty much just working on the Gamify piece of
Promo stuff. Yeah. Ideas, promo ideas. I think this is pretty crazy. I like the fact that you're using that diet. I'd probably do that too, except for I'd forget. And 7 weeks out, they'd hit me. I'd like, oh man, then it takes 3 months to turn it off.
Well, I think it's 7 days before they charge you.
Oh, 7 days?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 7 weeks.
No.
7 days?
Yeah, you get the first week free, and it's like a, I don't know, 3 or 4 month program, I think. 5 months, something like that.
And how much a month? Oh, up to 50.
The whole thing, like, so the idea is you do the quiz and it gives you a goal in the time period based on a bunch of stuff that asks you, and like what goal you would want. It's like, okay, well, we can get you to this, and then I think it's 100 and something. It's like 135 for the whole thing.
Wow.
And then I don't know if you need to pay to do it again. I don't think so. I think it's like a one-off, but then they want to upsell you the coaching and stuff, which I'm pretty sure is a subscription type thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you wanted to do it, what I did is just set a reminder on my phone or my calendar or whatever for the day and make sure you cancel it.
Speaking about reminders on the calendar and stuff, I get a reminder every Sunday for our meeting. Who put that on there? How did that get put on how did I get a quit your job for life reminder on my phone? I didn't put it on there, right?
You must have. I don't have access to your phone.
Really?
I don't know what
I thought I
happens
clicked
giving you a
on
reminder.
something. Oh, so it doesn't come up on yours or anyone else's? Okay. Interesting.
Well, we weren't even, part of the reason why I think it's a little confusing is we never agreed 100% it'd be Sunday every time because you were thinking you might need to do a different day, so.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know why we would have set Sunday as I mean, I certainly didn't set that it'd be every Sunday.
Okay.
So you must have set it at some point.
Mm-hmm.